Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And today I thought we would take a look at the lesson that's assigned from the book Genesis. We're already up to the 18th chapter, and we're talking about the great patriarch Abraham, but which at this point, of course, is known as Abram. That God hasn't changed his name yet. Chapter 18, beginning at the first verse. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, he saw 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself towards the ground, and said, My Lord, if I now have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under this tree. And I will fetch you a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore ye are come to your servant. And they said, Do so, as thou hast said. And Abraham hearkened to the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes unto the hearth. And Abraham ran to the herd, and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave it to a young man, and he hastened to dress it. And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to thy time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child when I am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. And then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence and looked towards Sodom, and Abram went with them to bring them on the way. Okay, so interesting, right? So here it is, and they are Abraham and Sarah at this point. But it's interesting to see the reaction that here is the Lord, right, appearing to him as 3 persons, right? Oh my goodness, I sense a little trinity here. It does not necessarily say that they are angels, and yet some people have interpreted that way, but they keep calling him my Lord, and yet they are 3 persons. But that's not the meat of this. The meat of this, of course, is that God is about to fulfill his promise to make a great nation of Abraham's seed. He's promised Abraham what will be the covenant, the original covenant that we have between God and man through Abraham and his seed. That original covenant comes through the promise of a child, which miraculous nature is because Sarah is way too old to be bearing a child. And she has been barren. She hasn't been able to have children. And now here she is about to become a mother for the first time. And Sarah laughs. And who can blame her, right? I mean, it's a natural instinct to say, how can this happen when I'm this age, right? And so Sarah kind of goes with inclination and absolutely human reaction rather than the bigger reality that with God, all things are possible, as we heard the angel Gabriel say to Mary, didn't we? And so, of course, that is what's going to happen. So we have this wonderful thing of Abraham entertaining these 3 persons, and of course, the promise of God to fulfill his promise to have Abraham be the father of great nations. But that's all to come in the coming chapters. So today's Monday, and today's a very special week because Lent begins on Wednesday. So we do have Holy Communion today at 12:15 and Tuesday at 12:15. And then Ash Wednesday, mark your calendars, 12:15 Holy Communion, 5 o'clock evening prayer, 6 o'clock Holy Communion. Pick a service. We'll have the imposition of ashes at all 3 of those services with the penitential office. And I do hope that I will see you in church. And may your Monday be full of blessings.